What if I told you that the Persian Empire never truly disappeared? You might be very surprised when you hear what I'm about to tell you. Why would a country with centuries of history try to erase its identity from the world in the middle of the 20th century? Today, we will travel through glorious empires, brutal invasions, and decisions that rewrote the memory of an entire people. This is not just the story of a country. It is the story of power, religion, and image can shape the destiny of a civilization. So sit back and relax, because what you're about to discover goes far beyond a simple name change. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment telling us which other forgotten civilizations you'd like us to explore. Now, let's begin. Imagine a land surrounded by towering mountains, scorching deserts, and ancient trade routes. Routes that carried not only goods, but also identity, power, and legacy. This land is the Iranian Plateau. For thousands of years, this strategic region has been known as one of the cradles of civilization. But how did it all begin? Who are the true founders of the land we know today as Iran? To understand this, we need to travel back to the second millennium BCE. During this period, the Indo-Iranian peoples arrived in the region. They were nomadic tribes who spoke Indo-European languages. These languages were related to the ones that centuries later would evolve into Latin, Greek, Portuguese, and Spanish. Contrary to what many people believe today, the Iranian language family is not related to Arabic. For example, in Old Persian language, mater means mother and pedar means father. These words share the same roots as the Latin words mater and pater. These were not just words. They were the roots of an ancient, deep, and distinct culture. Among these peoples, two groups stood out: the Medes and the Persians. The Medes settled in northwestern Iran. They were powerful and well-organized and quickly became the dominant force in the region. The Persians, on the other hand, settled further south in a region called Pars. The name Persia actually comes from this region. The land was fertile, but at first it was not very powerful, and one could have imagined that this small group would one day change the course of history at that time. The name Persian was simply a geographic term. It did not represent the entire region. The real center of power belonged to the Medes, but that was about to change. Among those mountains and plains, a man would be born who would shake the foundations of the old world, the leader who saw beyond divided tribes and dreamed of unity. His name was Kirash. The world would later know him as Cyrus the Great. With him, one of history's first great empires began to rise. Cyrus the Great was a very different kind of conqueror. Most empires of the ancient Near East ruled through fear and destruction. Cyrus chose a different path. After defeating the Medes, he did not just unite the people, he founded the Achaemenid Empire. And this empire was built on loyalty rather than fear. Cyrus protected the temples of conquered peoples and did not forbid their religions, allowed their cultures to continue. For example, to the Jews exiled in Babylon, he was not an invader, but a liberator to the Babylonians. He was seen as a ruler chosen by the god Marduk. Under Cyrus and later Darius I, the empire expanded dramatically. Its lands stretched from the Indus River to the Aegean Sea, from Egypt to Central Asia in less than a century. Many of the greatest powers of the ancient world came under Persian rule. But the Persians did more than build a vast empire. They also created a massive road network, a fast imperial postal system, and a sophisticated bureaucracy. These innovations formed one of the first advanced administrative systems in history. For this reason, some historians describe the Achaemenid Empire as the world's first superpower. However, this massive empire was also fragile. An attack from the west would change everything. The leader of that attack was a young king, Alexander the Great. In 334 BC, he marched east with his army to the battles of Granicus, Issus, and Gaugamela. The Persian armies were defeated. The Achaemenid Empire collapsed. But Alexander did not destroy Persia. In fact, he admired it. He married Persian princesses, wore Persian clothing, and participated in Zoroastrian rituals, even began to see himself as the legitimate successor of the Persian kings. This caused great tension among his Greek soldiers. But Alexander dreamed of something bigger, that a civilization where East and West would merge together. However, in 323 BCE, at the age of only 32, Alexander died. His empire was divided among his generals. Persian lands fell under the control of the Seleucid Empire. But Persian identity did not disappear. It simply slept for a time. Later dynasties revived it, first the Parthians and later the Sassanids. During the Sassanid era, Zoroastrianism once again became the state religion, and Persian power rose again, even if it never fully matched its earlier glory. But in the 7th century, a new force emerged, Islam. Arab armies defeated the Sassanid Empire. A new era began. Zoroastrianism declined, and Arabic became the administrative language. Persian absorbed many Arabic influences, yet Persian identity did not vanish. It continued to live through poetry, science, and art. Centuries later, the Safavid dynasty emerged. They would transform the future of Iran because they declared Shia Islam as the state religion. This decision became one of the key factors that distinguished Iran from the rest of the Islamic world. During this period, the name Iran began to reappear more frequently. The word Iran means land of the Aryans. However, the outside world still referred to the country as Persia. Two names existed at the same time. Persia, used by the outside world, at Iran, used by the people themselves until the 20th century. In 1935, Reza Shah Pahlavi made a historic decision that he sent a letter to all foreign governments. From that moment on, the country should be called Iran, not Persia. This was more than a name change. It was an attempt to move away from the exotic and backward image that the West associated with Persia. However, not everyone accepted this decision. For many people, Persia represented a glorious past. Cyrus, Darius, great empires, literature, science. Despite this, the decision remained. The country officially became Iran. Then in 1979, another major turning point occurred, the Iranian Revolution. The Shah was overthrown and the Islamic Republic of Iran was established. Relations with the West deteriorated. Today, for many people, the word Iran evokes political tensions, sanctions, conflicts. But the word Persia still carries a romantic image of ancient grandeur and cultural brilliance. Two names, one land, and a silent struggle between a nation's past and its future. Thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoy content like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.